Today I'll be giving a little review of the Surefire XVL2-IRC. This is Surefire's dual Visible+IR light laser combo. It has a visible light, an infrared light, a visible laser, and an infrared laser, all in one package. This is primarily intended for use on pistols. However, it's perfectly reasonable to use this on rifles as well. I think the application of this device as a rifle or carbine light laser combo is something people are kind of sleeping on right now. In terms of the competition in that space, you're looking at relatively expensive devices from companies like Steiner or HoloSun, which generally don't even come with the white light included with the device. Even for something that's just an infrared light plus green and infrared laser, you're looking already on the order of, $1,500+. So when you compare it to that sort of market segment, this product is actually quite reasonable at around $1,300, especially given how compact it is compared to those competing devices. So just sort of going over it from front to back, we have the two LED illuminators here, and this pops off to twists. It's a left-hand twist, I forgot. Pops right off, and the battery is inside there. So you change batteries from the front, very easy. Takes a single CR123, it pops right back on, and then you've got this rail mount system up here. So this is of the format that's common for pistol-oriented devices, where there's a few different options for what sort of cross rail you want to put in there. I think this is just the one that it comes with. It works perfectly fine in the Picatinny rail on my Beretta 92 compact. The actual mechanism for clamping down on the rail is a little bit suspicious to me, just because it is directly threaded into the aluminum on the right side of the device, instead of being something like a steel inset, or something made of steel that sort of goes in the aluminum, which just means that I'm always a little bit nervous to torque this guy down, because there's a chance you might strip the screws, or strip the threads, excuse me. But so far it hasn't happened yet, although I will say that I evidently under-torqued this on my last install because I was doing a USPSA shoot, and this thing came loose in the middle of the shoot, which is why I'm reviewing it now. So I don't have to, I'm going to have to re-zero it anyway, so might as well get this out of the way. So that could be a little better. And then on this side as well, there's this little tiny hole for a hex key, which you use to tighten this down. So that could be something a little bigger, maybe something with a coin. But obviously they're working to cram a lot of stuff into a small space, so I can't really blame them for not dedicating a large amount of area to having like a big knob for tightening this down or something. Then we've got the laser adjustment knobs. So these are the IR and visible laser are slaved, so you just you zero the visible laser in the daytime, and then the IR laser should be approximately zeroed to the same location. And then you've got this knob here, which is the mode select knob. And on the bottom of the device, they actually have a full listing of what all the different modes mean. I'm not 100% sure what they were going for with this knob layout. It's a little annoying because right now this is on the combination visible light laser mode, which is mode 3. Now, mode 5 is the combination IR laser mode, and you actually cannot go straight from mode 3 to mode 5. Mode 4 is off, so you can go from mode 3 to mode 4, and it's not going to do anything. But you cannot go from mode 4 to mode 5, as far as I can tell. It just stops you there. So if you want to go to mode 5, which again I think is probably the next most obvious mode, you have to go all the way around the knob to get to the IR mode. So that's annoying. I'm not 100% sure why they did it that way. There's probably some, they want to avoid people accidentally putting it to IR and getting confused or something, but I wish there was like a removable stop that I could use to control that. And the paddles are pretty standard for Surefire or other weapon lights. You can push to activate, or you can twist left to right for, you know, persistent activation. And unlike some of the other Surefire lights, this back part does not come off. You don't need to remove it to replace the battery or anything. So yeah, overall I've been really satisfied with this. I have two of these actually, one on pistol here and one on a pistol in my other home, and they've worked really well for me. I've, you know, put a fair number of rounds through them, or I should say through a gun with this mounted to it, and haven't had any sort of failures or issues yet. And I'm sure these things would handle being on a rifle really well too. If you're going to put this on a rifle or a carbine, especially a pistol caliber carbine, like I said, I think it's a great idea, really cost effective relative to the competition at least. However, just keep in mind that, you know, these are pretty wide angle LED reflectors. So for the visible light, I would say it's probably good outdoors up to like 25 yards. The infrared light, if you have Gen 3 goggles, you know, maybe 25 or 75 yards, but definitely not a long range illuminator. This is more intended for indoor and short range use. So as long as you keep that in mind, it's a really good package. But, you know, potentially combining this with a separate long range IR illuminator like a Keyg could be a really, really good way to go. And obviously, you know, very small, very light. So if you're thinking about doing a compact build or a lightweight build or something, this is definitely something to consider.